love that pineapple. Hello, Bobby Torres of Frightbox recording here. I've come to realize this year that we are in the middle of a major laziness epidemic within the home recording community and industry. I think I know why. It's plugin manufacturers, gear manufacturers that are convincing us that there's some shortcut or quick fix to achieve the results that you hear on your favorite records. But unfortunately, got bad news for you. There are no shortcuts, but it's not all bad. Within this video, I'm going to share with you how you could shift your mindset, save some money, and get away from this epidemic that's probably, most definitely, holding you back. Let's dive into it. Okay, I know I'm gonna get comments about this. The reason why I'm in the middle of a messy room is I'm in the middle of building my new studio. We're getting kind of close to getting it done, and this room has sort of become the junk room with ductwork and all kinds of other stuff. So ignore the mess behind me. Soon this room will be a nice studio lounge. All right, so like I was saying, we are in the middle of a major laziness epidemic within the home recording community. And the reason why I believe this is I've noticed after running this YouTube channel for the last 5 years or so, that the questions that people ask me most regularly are going from recording and production related questions regarding technique, mixing techniques, recording techniques, to gear questions, and more specifically, software and plugin solutions. It's clear this is where people's mindsets are shifting towards. And this really bothers me, I'm gonna be honest with you, because I know for a fact that it's not the solution. I love gear, I love plugins, I love software, they make my life easier as a producer, believe me. But it's obvious that it's making people worse at recording and mixing. A lot of the results that people are getting, that people are sharing with me, are not that great. I kind of think they're going downhill a little. And this is sad because we should be getting better as a community at producing in our homes. So the first uptick that I've been experiencing as far as questions are concerned are people asking me about automatic, out-of-the-box solutions for a pro production or mix. For example, drum tones that are mix ready, like MIDI drum software that's just, you don't have to mix, it just sounds great and ready to be plugged into your album. Or guitar tones that you don't need to touch, you don't need to balance, you don't need to pan, they're just ready to go. Or even worse, the thing that I can't stand are mixing tools that will give you an automatically, polished vocal sound, bass sound, that all you have to do is throw this plugin up, press a button, and all of a sudden, you have a pro sounding record. Here's the thing, I actually like some of these tools if you're recording demos and you just want some pre-production that sounds okay and sounds somewhat decent. Or if you're using them as starting points and you plan on tweaking them to fit the aesthetic that you have in your mind's eye for your album or EP or single. They're great tools, but believe me, there is no such thing on this planet as an out-of-the-box solution that you can slap on your tracks and all of a sudden you sound like Spirit Box or Sleep Token or Judas Priest or Pantera. It simply doesn't exist. And I know plugin companies will market their plugins as being this, but trust me, if it were this simple, every producer you know would be out of a job, and that's certainly not the case. And again, if you use some of these tools and you like them, keep using them. Just realize that you have to understand production as a whole. You should be able to produce a fully professional sounding result with just the stock plugins within your DAW. And if you're gonna use these tools, at least expect to understand how to fit them all together cohesively to fit the aesthetic that you have in your mind. Remember, recording and mixing is an art, and creativity comes from our vision, not from a plugin company. It comes from you. Okay, another one that drives me up the wall. Plugin presets. I get this a lot. What EQ should I use on my kick? What master bus chain should I use? What EQ should I use on my master bus? Which is kind of crazy because that EQ is going to change depending on the source material, which there's no way for me to know if I haven't heard your mix. And every mix is different and every recording is different based on the arrangement, the song, the source sounds. There's just so much involved with production that there is, again, no such thing as a preset that's just going to work for your music. Now, where this gets a little tricky for beginners and home studio owners is some people get confused by this because you'll see a pro producer pull up a preset and use it. But again, much like with the first example, a lot of the time, these are just starting points. Yes, on my kick drum, on my bass guitar. A lot of my EQs will look similar, but they're almost never just set it and forget it. It's a starting point, and I always tweak it based upon what I'm hearing and feeling, because I'm a human being that has emotions, and I'm trying to bring out that emotion and make the mix compelling. And the only way to do that is to listen, think, and adjust. So to be crystal clear with you, there's nothing wrong with presets. I use them myself. I make my own presets, but they are not an out-of-the-box solution. You must know what you're listening for so you know what to tweak, even if that preset gets you closer to your final goal. Now, I know much like with dieting and fitness, people want a magical shake or a magical workout that's gonna make them ripped. It doesn't exist. Same thing with mixing and recording. You have to understand production as a whole. Okay, so the next one that I have to share with you, I get this more than ever for some reason, and I'll give it to people that are asking me this. It's a technique, which is good. It's not an out-of-the-box solution, but it's still a shortcut that people are looking for. What that is people are looking for sidechain compression to replace volume automation. Volume automation is an amazing tool for creating space, clarity, excitement, and just overall professionalism within your production. The problem is people don't like doing it because it's boring, but it's free and it's extremely powerful. But of course, it takes time. You have to put the work in. It's not as exciting as buying a new shiny plugin and slapping it on your track. And it is a fair question. Okay, if I'm creating space in my mix by automating the tracks, can't I just use, some form of sidechain compression to duck the bass from the kick or reduce the volume of my rhythm guitars when a lead kicks in? Yes and no. Yes, you can try this, but here's the thing. Again, all of your favorite records that are produced by pro engineers feature some form of volume automation that they are choosing and implementing based on their vision for the music. It's more of an art form than an actual technical skill or a science. So for example, if you have a sidechain compressor on your rhythm guitars when the lead kicks in, it might sound odd when the lead drops out and the guitars kind of jump out of nowhere, versus if you were doing volume automation, you might have the rhythms a little lower or a little louder, or you might bump them up in the background for the break in the solo. There's no way for a compressor to know what to do. Pro sounding productions require your attention and your creativity. Yes, sidechain compression is cool, but it does not at all replace volume automation. I'm happy this is a technique that people are asking about, and I'm glad it's a technique and not a plugin. But again, put the work in, use automation, believe me. Okay, and the most depressing one of all that I've been having people ask me about, and oh my God, I can't believe it. People no longer want to write music. They don't want to program drums. They don't want to work with a vocalist, hire a bassist, or play in a band. And that is people asking me about AI-generated drum loops, drum beats, and songwriting plugins, or vocal plugins, or whatever. Now, let me be clear. I'm not some old fogey that's against AI. I think AI is an amazing tool. And much like with the first two items on this list, I think AI can be an amazing songwriting tool. It could certainly help you generate ideas, drum ideas, maybe just musical ideas in general. But if you're a serious artist and you want to produce unique music, that's your specific human vision, not robot vision, there's no AI tool, or at least not right now, that's gonna magically produce a recording that sounds completely pro, that's unique to your vision. Yes, it might copy all the hot latest mixes and bands that are out right now, but how would that be fulfilling if you're just copying another artist? The AI is just interpreting what already exists and is spitting it out. Yes, we do this as songwriters and as humans, but I don't know. I don't think we're at the point yet where we should let robots completely take over the entire creative process as a whole. At that point, what's the use of playing an instrument? What's the use of even watching this channel, learning about audio production? I say this, if you want to have fun with these tools, these AI tools, have at it, but expect to put the work in and refine the drum patterns, or maybe vocal performances, or the mix presets that the AI generates. It's not there yet to automatically do everything for you. And when it does get to that point, again, what would be the point of doing this at all, if you think about it? I personally think, and I kind of see this happening with younger musicians, we're going more old school because people are going to crave more human, realistic sounding productions. As humans, we crave uniqueness and authenticity. So don't be lazy. Expect to put in the work. Now, I'm not making this video to pick on you. The reason why I'm making it is I want you to be aware that if you took all of the energy that you spend on looking for quick fixes and AI tools and plugin presets, if you took that energy and just learned to focus on the basics of audio production, learning how to capture high quality source sounds, which doesn't require a lot of gear or a lot of skill, believe me, it just takes practice, and just basic mixing techniques with even stock plugins, you will end up with way better results than if you used all of these cheat codes combined, which we now know are not really cheat codes. They're really just distractions. And they're emptying your pockets because they never end. There's always a new plugin that you have to buy. Last year, I started my own mastermind group where we meet every single Wednesday, a fun group of talented home studio producers. And it's amazing the results that these guys are getting simply by focusing on the basics. It's something that we talk about every single week. Recently, our member Pete has experimented with simplifying his mixing, and his mixes are better than ever. It's really impressive. And we all realize and remind each other every single week that there are no shortcuts. You just have to focus on what matters. Luckily, the stuff that matters is actually a lot of fun. And again, it's free. You can produce great results for next to nothing. You just have to know what to focus on. Now, I want you producing pro level results with the gear and plugins that you're currently using, even if you're using stock plugins. Now, because of this, for right now, I'm offering you direct access to my free training, 4 dead simple ways to massively improve your recordings and mixes. Now, in this free training, I share with you my #1 technique for prepping heavy guitar tracks that virtually mix themselves. You'll also learn how to create instantaneous clarity within your mix using any old stock EQ plugin. Finally, learn how to take control over the levels in your mix so that instruments stop fighting with one another. And you'll also get to learn how to craft radio-ready vocal mixes using only stock plugins. Now, full disclosure, if you're one of these people that's constantly scrolling through TikTok and you have the attention span of a squirrel, don't waste your time. This training is meant for people who are serious about audio production like I am. Now, if you are serious and you're kind of tired of looking for shortcuts and you want to produce better results with the gear you're currently using, you can have access to the training for absolutely free right now. There's a link below in this video's description. All right, so tell me what you thought of this video. Are you one of these people that were for the longest time maybe looking for shortcuts and presets and AI to solve all your problems? Don't be shy, leave a comment in the comment section of this video. I'd love to hear what you've been up to in your studio. Until next time, drink that Spindrift.